I'm a little winded and I'm a little out of practice. Buckle in and let's talk about the Poppins Period Disc. Hi and welcome back to the channel. My name is Kim Rosas and I'm a period products expert. I'm the owner and voice behind Period Nirvana, which is a period product store online where we carry the best of the sustainable and reusable period care, as well as most recently adding in a few disposable brands as well. And today I finally have a review for you. So if you like this sort of thing, make sure you like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can find out when my next video posts. I'm a little winded. I'm a little out of practice. Hold on. I walked over next door and got a coffee before this started, which is the benefit of having a store on Haywood Road here in Nashville. I haven't reviewed any new products for a few reasons. One is that, I'll be honest, it's really hard to review new products when I have such a faithful, leak-free, comfortable experience with my chosen product that I use every cycle. That's the Hello Disc, and many of you who watch the channel know that I co-designed it. So it should work really well for me because of that, and I'm not saying it works really well for me because I designed it, if that makes sense. There are some other reasons I haven't been reviewing products. One is that there haven't been that many new products that were worth my time to review. And I also haven't had that much time to give. Opening a store for the last year and a half, almost 2 years, from the start of that process to today, has taken up all of my time and then some. And if you watch my last upload, it's been really difficult as a small business owner to keep up with everything amidst the tariffs and the changes going on and, you know, the lower sales because people are spending less and we're struggling. I'm sure a lot of you are struggling. So it just makes it hard to sit down and do content. There is a disc that has come out recently, the Poppins Period Disc, and I was intrigued by the handle. I was intrigued by, you know, how firm it would be because I get questions all the time from people saying, hey, you know, I like the Hello Disc, but it's too firm for me, or it's hard to insert. And so I'm always looking for something that might be a close second or a close third or in the same family as the Hello Disc that makes it easier to remove, but it might be easier for someone to insert or softer, whatever the needs are. I don't have an unboxing for you, but it does come with an adorable pouch and it has a joke on the box. What did the cervix say to the disc? What did the cervix say to the disc? Wow, nice catch. That one did not land for me. It is a nice minimal packaging, which I do normally appreciate, but now that I have a store, I have a different outlook on packaging because you do want something that you can see on a shelf, and this is like really tiny. So a lot of our packaging is made for shipping to people, lightweight, easy, economical, less wasteful. Always a good thing. However, when I put it on a shelf, it makes it a lot harder to stand out on a shelf, but most people aren't buying their period products in person like in our stores, so ignore most of what I said. For those of you who don't know, Poppins Period used to be the brand Bloody Buddy. And Bloody Buddy started out as like a white label brand, and then they designed their own menstrual cup that comes in 3 sizes. I have done a video about their cup on the channel. And when the disc came out, I was interested, but it kind of immediately sold out. And then the disc just vanished. And the company changed hands, and now the disc is back. The disc that vanished had another feature that's missing in the new disc that just recently restocked online from their website, and that is a notch here. I don't have that one. Hold on. It had a notch for folding on the Poppins Period Disc, but I believe that Flex probably wrote them a nastygram because this is a patent for Flex and the Flex company, and the new one doesn't have that. But it's not that big of a deal, to be honest, because it's such a soft disc that it folds pretty easily. I'm going to do a quick review of how a menstrual disc works in case you're brand new to discs, you're interested in trying a Poppins Period Disc, and you just don't know how it works. The Poppins Period Disc is going to fold lengthwise, and you want to make sure that the handle part is going into your body last because that's what you pull to remove. When you fold it, you want to make sure that the basket part is facing up, and you want to try to angle it towards your back if you can. That works best for most people because you want it to tuck behind the cervix here, and you want it to tuck all the way up behind the pubic bone. And then here is the handle, and that's what you're going to pull when it's time to remove the disc. You can wear the disc for up to 12 hours safely. So if you have a heavy period, you might get less wear time than that. But if you have an average or even a light period, you should get 10 to 12 hours of leak-proof wear if it's a good fit for your body. When it's time to remove, I like to show people this way, but you can actually see what's happening when you show it this way. So you want to find the handle, and I like to pinch because I have nails, but you can also just hook it. And then you want to pull it out and try to pull it up towards your body to minimize and reduce any mess. All the blood should fall out from the disc into the toilet. And I always recommend for newbies to remove their disc for the first time in the shower because you don't want to be stressed about mess, and that's just the best way to do it. Features of the Poppins Period Disc. It is a one-size-fits-most menstrual disc, meaning that it's designed to fit the most people because discs sit in a one-size area of the body called the vaginal fornix. This part of the body, it's also where diaphragms and nuvarings sit. It's just a larger area above the vaginal canal. So large discs like this look like they're not going to fit, when in reality they do fit most people, but not everybody. And it's good to know if you've tried a disc before and you're used to a certain size of disc and you want something either bigger or smaller, you kind of want to know where the Poppins Period Disc lies if you're looking for something. This one is 70 millimeters in diameter, which is the very, very top end of one-size discs. It's the same size as the Flex Disc reusable and disposable. Firmness-wise, the Poppins Period is very soft. I rated it a 2.5, so it's between soft and average. It's not too firm, it's not flimsy soft, but it is on the softer side, which could be exactly what you're looking for, or it could be too soft for you. So again, if you have menstrual disc experience, you want to go back to that and decide what you liked or what you didn't about the disc that you tried. And if you're new to discs, just know that this is a little softer than average discs. And for capacity, menstrual discs as a category hold more than pads, than tampons, than menstrual cups. This disc says it holds 48 milliliters. I would wager it actually holds a little bit more, but I think they're being conservative in terms of where they're measuring it, and I actually forgot to do my own measuring before this video. But yeah, it says it holds 48. Hello Disc, for the comparison, holds 50, and Flex Disc reusable holds 70. I think it holds 70. So there it is. It's just a really basic, somewhat soft, one-size menstrual disc with the addition of a removal handle. And the handle is positioned on the rim so that it kind of gently attaches here at the edge, on the other edge, and then goes below the rim and extends out just a little bit. So it's not going to add really any length. So it's not something that's going to help you if you have a high cervix. I mean, maybe a little bit, but not really, just because of the angle of where it sits. How did it work for me? I have a little bit of good news, mostly bad news. The Poppins Period Disc was fine. It just does not match my other preferred disc in terms of leak-proofness. So far, I'm just having very light leaks. Nothing crazy. I'm wearing period underwear, but I am a little surprised that I'm leaking, especially on like day 4+, because my period's not that heavy to begin with. And reliability, it's just not as good of a fit. And I would say it's probably because of the diameter. It's just ever so slightly larger. And I struggled initially when I inserted it because it's softer, so it does like to move. I just steamed the Poppins Period Disc, which I tried last cycle on my 4th day, and it didn't go well. But today's day 1. I started bleeding while I was out shopping, Christmas shopping, and I'm wearing period underwear, thank God. I kind of saw this was coming, so now it's time, now that I'm home, to put the disc in and see how it does. I feel like it's bigger than Hello Disc, like by a significant amount. I actually had trouble inserting it on day 5, and I ended up just switching to period underwear because I got frustrated. And it's pretty soft, which for me is not ideal. It's such a large diameter. I feel like it's going for days. Because once you fold it lengthwise, it's long. I think I got it tucked. Let's hope. I just tucked my disc finger out until I wash my hands. It's not flimsy soft, but it definitely is not as firm as what I'm used to pushing on. And so, yeah, it gives a little more. Made it harder to tuck into place. And then when I tucked it into place and I walked downstairs, immediately it came untucked. So that was not a good start, but I'm a pro and I know that it's just my technique. So I went downstairs and I really pushed it up there. You know, I had really long nails, I think, at that point because they were overgrown. So I was like carefully really tucking it in there. After that, I just continued to have some very light leaks. And that was day one. I took it out. It did still hold a lot, but it just was not fully leak-free. That night, the first night that I slept with the disc, I could not fall asleep.
I'm actually gonna take this disc out so I can sleep. I feel like there's pressure and I keep feeling like I have to pee and I can't go to bed because I keep getting up because I feel like I have to pee.
And I don't want to fully blame the disc on this because I thought initially it might be pressure, and not because it's firm, but pressure on my urethra. Where a disc sits, it presses up against the urethra and or the bladder sometimes, usually due to pressure, but it can also be due to size. But I just think like the urge to pee was more like an anxiety, nervous kind of thing versus the actual pressure, because the next couple of nights that I wore it were fine. Luckily, this was the December cycle. We were doing a lot of nothing. We were, you know, sitting at home, watching TV on the break, you know, doing a little bit of Christmas festivities, but, you know, most of it was just sitting around. So I didn't have any trips planned. I wasn't doing any work, like heavy work, lifting work, you know, here in the store, in the warehouse, whatever. So it was an easy period to try something new that maybe wasn't going to be 100% for me. And I should add that I was wearing period underwear the entire time, which always came in clutch. For day two, things were, again, just fine. Okay-ish. Day two, things are fine. So I'm just like light leaking. Every time I wipe, I have some sort of leak. So it's never just a clean white sheet of paper. I'm wearing period underwear, so if it's actually leaking, I can't tell because of the period underwear lining, but it seems light if it is actually hitting the period underwear. Comfort-wise, it's pretty good. It's not slipping because I've been tucking it really confidently and as high as I think it needs to go, and that definitely helped after the first experience yesterday. I did some auto dumping, but comfort-wise, it was fine. I just could not get to like a 0 leak point. And then on day three, I did a lot more auto dumping. I was kind of surprised because I feel like day two is my heavy day. Day three, I was doing far more auto dumping, and let's face it, I am probably most likely perimenopausal and my periods are getting heavier. I definitely prefer to have a leak-proof experience, but that was not the case, and I was auto dumping a lot.
I just had a crazy auto dump. It was a massive amount that I just left in the toilet. And I went and gave it a check, and it definitely did not go back automatically. It did not go like retuck. So I retucked it, as you can see. I need to wash my hands. I'm hoping it stays, but I'm actually not sure if it came untucked before because I was leaking a little bit, but based on how much I just auto dumped, it was probably tucked.
And it wasn't residual leaks. It was actually making its way into, you know, the period underwear. And I continued day 4 into day 5, just using the disc. Removing was fine, easy. It was not mess-free for me.
That's that. Not entirely mess-free, but not dripping down my hands.
I saw someone's comment on Instagram because I did my, you know, period vlog. I do a lot more short form content these days than I do long form. So I've already shared like a little bit of a period vlog using the Poppins Period Disc in December. And I was saying how it's not mess-free, like a removal, like it is for my Hello Disc. Someone's like, your not mess-free is my mess-free. And so I should probably take that to heart because I know that my experience might be different than other people's. So what was, you know, I did get blood on my finger and thumb, and I used both to pinch this to drag it out. It just is how this works for me. I'm not getting any mess-free removals with Poppins Period Disc. I do get those with Hello Disc. So it was not that bad. It's still an easy to find handle to remove and pull out. So unfortunately, I'm not hopping on here to tell you this is the next Hello Disc or this is amazing for me. That said, I always like to point out that everybody is different, and we ended up deciding, even though I had leaks with the disc, we were going to bring it into Period Nirvana. For most of the things I carry, I try to use them myself, because when we say we have a curated selection, that is true. Like, we are looking into the brands, we're looking into the products, the quality, the ethics of the companies, and the manufacturing, as well as like, does it actually work? Does it do what it says it does? So even though the fit was not ideal for me, it does what it says it does. It is a softer firmness disc. It is easy to remove with the handle, and for somebody, that's going to be their Period Nirvana. It just wasn't for me. So now, if you are an experienced menstrual cup or disc user, you probably want to know how it compares to other products. It is much softer than the Flex. Flex has this insertion notch. It is the same size as Flex Disc Reusable, but this has the notch. This has a removal handle. Their baskets are both comparatively very, very similar and soft. Also similar to the All Matters. I'd say the All Matters one size disc is the most similar to the Poppins Period in firmness. It's a little bit smaller, doesn't have the handle, but also a very soft basket. Also very similar to Nixit in a lot of ways, except it has this handle, and this is a 2.5, this is a 2 in firmness, so this is just a tad bit firmer. I would say in the handle design, it's the most similar to the Diva disc. They're both flat handles in the way they are made instead of like rounded, and attach on the edge on the side of the disc. This is firmer than Diva disc, so 2.5, 2. This one has a leak-proof shield. This is oval. This is completely round. Of course, everyone wants to know, how does it compare to Hello Disc? This is Hello Disc. This is Poppins Period. These are the removal aids. The Hello Disc one is a double loop. So you wear it tucked if you have a low cervix. You can wear it dropped with a high cervix, or you can wear it flipped, which is how I wear it, for like an average cervix. If you compare them, this one extends out, or if it's dropped, it extends out. So it's better for a high cervix. This one's good for a high cervix as long as you can reach it. You just don't want, if you have a super high cervix, to put in a disc that you can't retrieve. So this just doesn't extend enough to give you extra length. The Hello Disc does come in at a smaller diameter than the Poppins Period disc. Obviously, this Poppins Period is much softer than the Hello Disc. So if you found this too firm or hard to insert, this one is going to be a little easier for you. Cora disc, it is much bigger than a Cora disc and a little bit softer. Cora has the removal notch. And this one is very similar. You can't buy it in the US. The Poppins Period also comes in black, by the way. This is the Heizomi, and it has a removal loop, but it's rounded and it's more attached at the edge, at the end. This one extends more like wider, like the Diva disc on these points versus at the very tip. So they are similar, but not exactly. And this one, Poppins Period, is larger in diameter than the Heizomi. Cleaning wise, it was okay. I did get ever so slightly frustrated with the way you would have to kind of give extra cleaning to where the handle and the rim meet. Not a deal breaker by any means, but if you're using one, make sure you check those little corners. Make sure that you're getting all of the gunk out so it doesn't build up. It's not the disc for me. I'm not going to reach for it again. It's going to be in my drawer of tried discs that are getting used. It's going to gather dust. But I do think there is someone out there, there are many someones out there who this is going to work perfectly for, who need a softer disc, who need like a slightly larger diameter disc, and who need something that's easier to grab and remove. So this disc ticks all of those boxes, and it's a high capacity product because it's a disc, so it's going to hold a lot. It's softer in firmness, so it is going to probably auto dump a little easier than something like a Hello Disc or a Flex Disc Reusable, or even a Salt Disc Regular. So if you don't like auto dumping, this might not be the product for you because it's just softer, so it takes less effort to push with those muscles to engage that auto dumping feature that happens when you're sitting on a toilet plus pushing. Oh, and the part that I forgot to mention, this product is a more affordable one-size disc. Hello Disc, you know, with some of the manufacturing challenges, has had to increase the price. Now it's at $38, which is on the higher end of some of the discs. Nixit being the most expensive at $42, and that's made in Canada. This one is made in China, and you can definitely find well-made products in China. They're using FDA-registered silicone. They're going through all the same processes as a disc or a cup made in the United States or Canada. But right now, even with whatever tariffs are being paid, this product is a retail of $30, which is a great price for anyone who's trying to find an affordable, reusable period product. Even if you're buying a $42 disc though, I have to say it's gonna pay off in the end. I know it is a high upfront cost. I do run a period store, so I see what that looks like, and I know some people pick things based on price, and that's understandable, but you really want to pick whatever works best for your body. In this case, Poppins Period, if it works for you, you're getting a great deal because it's $30 retail. This is my first time trying to shoot a review here in the store, and I'm using a different mic than I would use in my home office, and it's probably not as good. So if the sound isn't great, I apologize. We also have cars whizzing by because we're on a busy street, and you know, a different acoustic setup than what I'm used to at home. And if you've been waiting for an All Matters review, that is next. I'm gonna film that next. All right, I think that's it. So thanks for watching. Again, if you're new here and you like this kind of content that's educational and gives you an idea of how to use cups and discs and other reusable period care, make sure you subscribe, and I will see you in the next video or catch me in a short.